Good afternoon. Welcome to Trail Talk. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm super excited to introduce you to Zack Pineira he's the new, can I use the word new?
I'm new.
He's new. He's really new, about a month, I believe he told me. He's been doing he's been serving as the vice president at Camp Wiluhi'yi. And just to kick off the show, he brought a promotional video about the camp, and let's just watch that before we get going. Well, let me say, we are live here at the Chisholm Trail Heritage Center in Duncan, Oklahoma. Those of you who are regulars know that, and if it's your first time, this is good information for you to know for later on. Anyway, without further ado, let's watch the video, Bailey. All right. Wow. That was impressive. That was amazing. Did you make that?
No,
No?
no, my wife took a couple of things that were actually done by someone that had a drone. And of course, multiple scouts that have gone through, have taken pictures and so on and so forth. We kind of just
Put everything
put it
together.
all together.
Well done. I was having flashbacks of some great memories.
Yeah, I think you told me you were a Girl Scout out there.
I actually, I was a Girl Scout. I think I might have camped out there once, but for sure, my two of my boys were Boy Scouts. And we went out there for different ceremonies. I saw the flagpole. I was thinking about the flag ceremonies they have every morning and every evening. It looked like there might have been a flag burning, retirement thing that they were doing, which is something that a service the Boy Scouts always provide. the Quonset barn where the horses are.
Yeah, no horses anymore.
No horses
No,
anymore. There used
no,
to always
but-
be like a horse riding group that had horses out there or
No, I
something.
don't think any of the horse riding groups come through there anymore.
Well, anyway, and the grounds are just so beautiful. Man, what a great video. I love that. Well done. Your wife put that together.
Yeah,
Wow, well done, Mrs. Pineira. Very nice job. All right. So Zach, before we get into talking about the camp and everything, let's give the viewers a chance to meet you. I mean, I want to get to know you a little bit too. So, we were chatting before we went live. You're not originally from Oklahoma and you kind of came here in a roundabout way. So kind of tell us a little bit about yourself.
so my wife and I are both from Los Angeles, California area, just outside of LA into a little farm town community. A lot of big 3,500 acre farms, alfalfa,
Wow.
corn, you name it, out there, but it's desert. So it's
Mhm.
very ugly. And then when you move here and you see green and little 200 acre farms and stuff like that,
Right.
that makes it a little bit different and prettier.
So is everything irrigated there? Is that how it's
They have irrigation systems everywhere. Yeah.
everywhere? Wow, wow. Okay, so, what brought the two of you to Oklahoma?
So I had just got done with, I moved back from Canada, Toronto, from serving a mission, with our church, and I met her. We decided we didn't want to raise kids in Los Angeles, California. And so the option was to go to school in Idaho or to come here for a job opportunity in law enforcement. And of course, my wife doesn't like the cold, so she's gonna kick me in the butt for saying, but of course, we made a decision that Oklahoma was gonna be kind of a better place for us.
Right,
And moved out here, became a police officer for about 10 years. Got out of that full time, opened up a business doing appliance repair. And got introduced to the camp when my little sister was in her, I believe it was her freshman or sophomore year in high school, where she was going to school out at Bray. And we met a couple of people out there that were actually board members at that time and introduced us to come out, and we fell in love the first time we went.
and so there just happened to be a position open, or you continued in law enforcement until the position came open? Is that?
No, so I left, of course, any.
Yeah, you were doing
Yeah.
appliance repair.
Right. None of our board members are paid at all, so it's kind of it's all volunteer.
Okay,
We had went to camp for about 3 years before I even was told that there was like a board member group or anything like that. And of course, we really like to be involved, and so we asked, if we can go to a meeting, and next thing you know, we were invited to the meeting and asked to become a board member, and then kind of the rest is history. Want to be involved as much as possible to learn about the camp. I'm really intrigued with the history of Oklahoma and history in general, but the camp's history is really neat to watch. Our kids and all these scout groups and scouts that have been in the past coming back is what my love would be, is to get those kids that are now parents to bring their kids and let them now enjoy the new things that we're actually bringing to camp.
Well, the grounds looks like they're just so well kept, and I mean, it's so Duncan has like the 3 lakes. Is that at one of the lakes? Is that where the camp is actually located?
Yeah, so it's actually an overfill for Duncan Lake. Half of it is owned by the city of Duncan, and the other half is owned privately through a neighbor. And then our camp association, Camp Wiluhi'yi Association, leases that property for the youth of Stevens County.
Okay. So who's responsible for that upkeep then? Is that the city or does you guys?
We are,
You
yeah.
guys are.
Yeah, we have a maintenance committee that maintains all of the campsites. We also have amazing groups that are also donating towards helping maintenance be taken care of. One of them making sure each campsite has a porta potty or a bathroom
Right.
at the sites. One of our new things that we want to have accomplished, I guess, here in the long term, is to have bathrooms and shower facilities through in a central location of the camp.
Now, see, that's the kind of thing that would make me a little more friendly to the idea of going to camp there as a place to shower.
You know,
I'm not gonna call out their names, but my sons often came back from scout trips having not, washed themselves for several days. The rule was you're taking everything, your clothes and everything off out in the garage. You're not walking in here.
that's the fun of being a boy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I like the outdoors and everything, but it's really nice to have a place to shower.
Yeah.
That's a great thing to add.
Really neat thing too is we have a new building at one of our newer campsites, the Pineira site. We have a field house that we've had actually some weddings, family reunions, and actually some campers that didn't want to get soaked in the rain. They went and actually put their campsite inside of the building.
Wow, it must be pretty large.
It's a decent sized building, and it has it's 4 bays that open up, so you can actually see outside, and multiple tables and chairs for a pretty big selection or group of people.
Right, very nice. So, tell us a little bit about the history of Camp Wiluhi'yi. How long has it been, a place where people camped? How did it, grow into this association where people are caring for it? How did all those things happen?
So again, like I said out earlier, I'm pretty new to camp, and of course, new to the position of vice president, but asking around and trying to learn the history. Camp has been around since about 1950 time period. It was a group, I believe the Duncan Girl Scout groups at that time had started leasing the property, in which kind of came into the Camp Wiluhi'yi Association, took over. And of course, from that point, I don't know the long scheme of who actually was the first president. I don't know any of that history.
Oh.
But basically, it was just a group of scouts that wanted to preserve that area for them for the youth that were there to be able to do their camping and get their badges and everything else that they have to get.
Right. So, and so it has just been this relationship with like the city and the private owner and the camp association then for all of these years?
Yeah, all of us have to work together for sure. And we're communicating with the city of Duncan all the time, just to make sure, of course, we have to lease from them and making sure that we're following rules. Make sure we have the proper insurance to take care of all the liability of what's going on with
Which
protecting.
could be really significant, I'm guessing.
100%, yeah. And then again, we don't get paid for any of this. Everything we do, a lot of it is donated just from the board members themselves to try to get things taken care of, as well as requesting for donations from other groups or other people. And we've been extremely blessed at camp. We have some decent donors, and it's greatly appreciated and beneficial for us to keep going.
So, if people want to, like, you don't have to be a member of a scouting organization to use the camp.
Not at all.
Private, see, I could go pitch a tent or whatever. So what is the process? What do you have to do?
So if you saw in the video there at the very end, it has, I believe it had a website, not a website, an email and a phone number. Right now, we actually have a website getting created. I was hoping that it was working today, so I kind of show you, but it's not up right now. But through that website, you can go in there and pick your day that you want and send it, and then someone from the administration will approve it, get you to sign the liability waiver and for you and for if you were to be the leader of the group of who's all going to be there.
Right.
And then from there, you guys go and camp. So if you wanted Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they would tell you what our prices and fees are for whatever campsite you wanted. Our favorite is the Pineira because it comes with the building. And there's a shower there and 2 bathrooms as well that are actually in the facility.
Wow.
We price that out as at $100 a day for the building, and then $5 per person per day.
Right.
So it's pretty nice and convenient. Our family goes all summer long.
Really?
They already were asking me today why I was getting ready and why I was cleaning out the back of the truck because they want to go take the boat out and go camp. And so it's just they're used to it now.
So is there like a dock, like I saw canoes and kayaks. Are those the only kind of boats allowed there?
Yeah, so we don't want any motorized boats, but like we have a little 14-foot John boat that has a trolling motor on it, and we take that out whenever we want. But kayaks and canoes are what our kids love the most, and that's what we do. We do have some donated and purchased kayaks already available for whoever wants to go. So if you wanted to go camp, you can go there and you have kayaks and canoes available to you for the time on the lake. Of course, we have life vests as well for you.
Oh, nice.
And
is there additional charge to use them?
I don't believe we've talked about that, but I don't believe we have anything at the moment. And we just we keep bringing it back to, we don't want it to be a money-making thing. We want it to be for the kids.
Right.
So if there's kids that are going to be there, we want them to be able to have as much fun and enjoyment out there as possible.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it sounds very fun. So how many total campsites do you have?
So there's 9 right now, and there's talk of a couple others. There was the last one. I helped a young scout facilitate and get him to complete a project of a hammock campsite.
Oh,
yeah,
was this like the Eagle project?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I kind of enjoyed it because I wanted to be a scout when I was growing up, and my parents weren't ever involved in doing anything like that. So it's kind of fun to meet him and to watch him go through his whole Eagle project right there, and then to help sign off on his him finishing it.
It's really awesome to see young people organize and put into action the whole plan. It's such a big process.
Yeah.
The whole notebook and all the, records they have to keep and all of that. I mean, it's such a great thing. So I'm very excited. So a hammock campsite.
Yeah.
So I guess is it a little bit different from some of the others, like more trees there
Yeah,
or?
so it's actually right. So you asked a second ago if we had a dock. We do have a docking system, which is part of where we want the kids to fish the most. But right outside of that docking area, there is a little nest of trees that he turned. I believe there's 6 actual sites and he was showing me. I don't know how to do it yet, but that at least 3 hammocks per site can go in there. Of course you have to provide your own hammock, but so what? I think it's cool. I think I'd rather sleep like that than in a tent anyways.
Yeah, so they have like the kind that have like the whole cover and everything, which I would definitely need. I couldn't sleep with the bug situation around my face. I sound like such a sissy, but I don't like bugs. I mean, bugs are, but anyway, I bet that is going to be really enjoyed by a lot. I can imagine scouts especially coming out there as a group and wanting to go over and instead of tenting, sleep in hammocks like that.
Yeah, I think that'd be my favorite place for sure.
Yeah. So do the, not 9 campsites, does that include the hammock?
Yes.
Site? And so about how many people, do you go by like numbers of people or number of?
Not necessarily. So like Pioneer Camp, that one's probably the one, that one and Owl. I've seen used the most. Out at Owl, that's where we've camped for the majority of the time. If you remember where the Quonset hut is and you look north, that would be where Owl is.
Okay.
We camped there and we had maybe 20 families camp there. So it's a decent area there. Pineira, I've probably seen, gosh, maybe 40 families right
Oh,
there,
wow.
wrapped around the building, out by the fire ring that's there, and then down below the building, there's a little cutoff right there close to the water. We had some campers right there as well. That was a church group that came out, so there was a lot of people.
So is there kind of are there places where you can't put a tent, like people, like you said, kind of near the water? Can people just like put a tent wherever they want out there? Or do you guys like for them to stay in these kind of designated areas?
I don't know if we've really even talked about it, but I don't think we've ever seen anybody not stay in the designated area.
Okay.
Mainly, I would assume we would want to keep them in the designated area only because, you know, we have the bathrooms there, we have trash for areas, and you know, most people keep everything pretty clean for, you know, picking up after themselves and whatnot. But they're already in those designated areas, so. Most times, I think when a group's out there, there's only one group at one significant campsite. I don't remember. They said that they had a jamboree at one point, and I don't know where they all camped. I don't think I was around, but but I think it would be really neat to get as many people coming and camping as possible. You know, and having a big event so that people can come and learn and see what camp was like and just have a good time.
Right. What a fun idea. So because it's a city lake, are fishing license required when people fish out there?
Yeah, that is one of the rules on our rule list, to make sure you do have your fishing license, because we want to stay in accordance with all the city ordinances as well.
Right.
So we do request that. We thought even as well of trying to have like you know, the cops and bobbers, they have that. We've discussed having them out to try to get people to know about camp, because that's the thing for me I thought was so silly is we've had camp has been here for how long, and
almost 75 years.
Nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
And they've been here for just as long. And so we would love to get it out and about to people so that they can come and enjoy it as much as we do.
Oh, for sure. So I bet, do you know about how many people would use the camp on a yearly basis?
On a yearly basis, I probably can find those numbers because we have them all documented, but I know we've partnered with some church groups. Cast for Kids is a group that have come and they've done some fishing, and they plan to use our facility for fishing throughout the next couple of years. And then of course the weddings and the family reunions. Just last year, I know of 2 family reunions, a wedding, and two church groups. And then of course the scouts use camp you know, all the time. So a number, I wouldn't have one, but I know that it's being used a lot.
Yeah. Is there any time when you guys kind of shut it down, or any circumstances that when you have to shut the camp down?
The biggest time is probably during hunting season. No, we don't allow hunting out there. That's one of the rules as well, but we know neighbors are hunting. And so there are some time restraints, I guess, when it comes to that, to make sure for the safety of anybody that's going to be out there.
Okay. Well, that's a really good thing to know too. Yeah, because I guess is it private property then, what, on the north side?
There's private property, yeah. So we're kind of wrapped around property. The north side, the other gentleman that owns the other half of the lake, all of his, he's to the west of us. And then of course to the south, and then everything to the east is the entrance into Duncan Lake.
Yeah. So, what is your favorite thing about the camp? What makes it what made you want to devote your time to it? In scouting, the promise is it's 1 hour a month.
Yeah.
I'm just giving the look. This is for anyone who is a scout per adult and you know what I'm talking about. It's way more than that, but it's good. It's time well spent.
Yeah.
But I mean, what made you want to do that?
I think the best answer I would give is, not only myself, but my kids feel it too. It's just the peace we get when we get to be as a family, knitted together. You know, a lot of people don't like the tenting, they want to glamp it out with the camper. That's one of the biggest questions we get to is, do you allow campers? No, no.
Right.
Just come and, tent camp, have a good time with your family and enjoy the peace that you get out there.
It is quiet.
Oh,
It's a
wonderful.
quiet place, very quiet.
Yeah.
Do all the campsites have the fire rings in them too? Or is that something people have to kind of make their own place for a fire, or?
What
how does that
What we've tried to make sure is that they have somewhere to burn, and they're not all, the metal rings that I've seen in the bigger camps, but we have designated areas for them to have a fire if it's encircled with little rocks or something to that extent. Also in each campsite, we provide basically like a brick of wood for them to be able to burn, so they don't have to go and hike around to find wood. There's wood already provided at each location.
Right. So tell us just kind of things you can think of. What are some other things that are important that people would need to know? Some of the rules and things, like four-wheelers or motorcycles, or I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking about things that you guys are trying to restrict, so that it sounds like you want the quiet,
So definitely, there's no four-wheelers out there to be driving around having it's not a dune buggy area. We do have a designated parking area. Sometimes that's not followed to the T because they're trying to bring their stuff all the way down to the water or whatever it may be. There's no swimming. If you fall out of the kayak, get back in safely and so on and so forth. That happens every now and then, especially if it's windy out there. Just for safety reasons, trying not to kayak when it's super windy. No firearms as well out at that location. It is a secure location, so if you don't have the passcode to get in and you go through the fence, that's trespassing. So we really want to avoid trespassers because we've had facilities and windows broken and things go missing, and that's no fun when all we want to do is we have a love of devotion for the camp to provide to the kids and so on and so forth. Right.
Well, absolutely. I mean, that sort of thing it's not a very nice thing to do to begin with, but this, I mean, for $5 a person a night, I mean, what a small amount of money to pay. It's not like you guys are getting all kinds of money to pour into this camp. So repairing any kind of damage like that would be costly. It would, it would take a lot out of what you bring in, I'm sure. So yeah, that would be, so are horses and animals like that not allowed there either?
No, from my understanding, they stopped allowing horses in there. They let them have their facility outside of the camp area for them to, run their trails and stuff out there. But they've tried to make a camp just specifically for the youth, for them to come out and have a good time. We don't provide horses or anything like that out there. So of course, letting them just run their trails outside.
What about dogs?
I've seen dogs out there. I don't think we have a specific rule, just, the common courtesy of cleaning up after yourself.
Right.
But I don't even know, I couldn't even give you a direct answer that we couldn't have dogs out there.
Yeah.
Well,
a lot of people like to bring their pups along when they go do things. So yeah, I was just curious about that. So you can't swim. Is there a place where you can like wade in the water or?
No, we try not to allow any of that, just again, for liability reasons of, there's no lifeguards or anything like that. And we don't know, 100% what's all down in the water and so on and so forth. It is pretty low right now as well. But with all the rain, it of course got back, pretty decently high, than where it was. And so we know 20 feet out what's on the ground, just because we were able to see it here recently. But other than that, just trying to make sure that they're safe and not swimming.
Right, right. So, so you've just been there for about a month, but it sounds like there's some ideas, some things that you guys are hoping to do. So can you give us some thoughts about some of the things you're kind of looking to do down the road?
Yeah. So I've actually been a board member there for about a year and a half, but in this position for just about a month. And so prior to this, we had, of course, a lot of meetings that were going into having our field house built. And we have a porch that we're trying to build on the very south end that overlooks the water. And we want to have a couple of barbecue pits out there for them to be able to cook, which we have some out there temporarily that have been utilized a lot. But we actually want to have them up on this porch, and it will have an overhang over it as well. That is in the works with we have a grant right now approved for it. And it's coming along. We haven't started the building of it yet,
Right.
but it's going to be directly attached to that field house.
So what is the field house? What is?
The field house is the building that's just inside of the Pioneer
Oh,
campsite.
okay, the one with the bathrooms and the.
Yes, ma'am.
So that campsite is on the south side?
No, I wish I had an actual picture of it, but
Like, that one little kid had one, so it had like a skull and crossbones,
yeah.
and like find it if you can, or find the treasure if you dare. Or
we do a treasure hunt every October for Halloween. And so that is really cool. It's actually a big hike. We go down and we get to see the biggest tree in the area, and show the kids that they can't even hug this thing. Probably not even 5 of us can hug around it.
Oh my gosh,
It's
wow.
it's pretty big. And then we hike down the trail and back up and then across the dam to find the treasure. And it's super cool. Our kids did it last year and had a blast, but yeah, where the camp is actually to the north of the building.
Okay.
The field house is the Pioneer area.
Mhm.
And the porch is going to be overlooking the water out this way.
Okay,
And I could probably show you later
Yeah.
on the video where that's actually located. We had some, if you remember, you saw a red car kind of pulling up into it. But outside of that, we also have restrooms and shower facility. We want to put in a central location that will have 5 actual bathrooms and 6 showers. And also some storm cellars.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, we have a kayak pavilion also being erected. It's about halfway done. We have the location already being leveled and so on and so forth for that. I guess the rafts that will actually be hooked up to the kayaks, they're already built as well. We just have to kind of just do the little things to get it all in there and move the shed back up in there. It'll be chain linked around and locked so that, only people that are going to be out there using them are able to use them.
Right.
So,
Wow. You guys are gonna make that place kind of like a little bit of a destination then.
hoping so.
Yeah. Make it destination Wiluhi'yi with a lot of, I just feel like it's like a day trip kind of thing. Sometimes I like to do day trips on Trail Talk and talk about, things you can go and do in a day. And going and spending a day out at Wiluhi'yi sounds like a super fun thing to do.
Absolutely.
So if you were going camping, just for people maybe who are thinking, well, I don't want to go too far, but I'm not really experienced, what kinds of things would people need to bring to Camp Wiluhi'yi to have like a successful overnight camp out?
So of course, all the bathroom facilities are there, so there's already toilet paper and stuff like that. So you don't have to worry about that. That's probably one of the biggest questions. And then we do have we have 2 barbecues out there already that they can use. If not, then of course, if we bring our griddle blacktop that we like to cook on, we'll cook everything on that. We normally do our camp out tacos. And that will include like our breakfast tacos and dinner tacos and lunch tacos.
Hey,
That's
there's
all
nothing
we-
like a good taco. A camp out tacos. I love
Yeah, we
it.
have way too much fun with all that. And then, of course, your tent, and if you are like your blow up mattresses, bring those. Those are helpful. And go somewhere in the dark over there where you're out of the little light. I don't personally like Pioneer only because there's a light right there. And so I can't sleep with the light. So I always crack jokes that that's not my favorite place, but
Right.
everybody else likes it because it's right there close to the bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Maybe you could get some of those little sleeping masks things for your eyes.
Thought of it, but my favorite is gonna be the hammock side. That's what we've already been discussing, getting multiple hammocks for my 3 kiddos and my wife and I.
Mhm.
So,
Well, do people need to bring, drinking water? Is there, or, like things to start a fire?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have the logs there, but they'll need to bring, something, of course, a lighter or matches, something to light the fire. We do have water, I believe at every campsite, there's a spigot that you can get water from. Most, of course, we turn those off here and there during the winter to prep and get those taken care of.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure it's almost every site has some type of water source there. But if they don't like drinking water from what you would assume to be the tap, then or a well or anything to that extent, then of course bring your own water. There's no hunting or killing of animals out there, so they can't go and get a dove or a deer or a turkey or anything like that and eat that. The fish, it's right now it's catch and release. So for now, only because water was so low, we don't know what the numbers of fish are.
Right.
And we'd like to kind of keep that populated for the kids to have and enjoy fishing. And I mean, we've watched kids that have never fished before in their life catch a fish out there, and that's pretty cool. So if we didn't have any fish in there, we couldn't experience watching that.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, so, is there any electricity available to campers?
So there is electricity in the field house itself. So
Inside,
in order to get to that electricity, you would have to be able to rent that facility out as well.
Okay,
There's no, I believe we have electricity still in the Quonset hut, but it's not available I mean, if they want to charge their phone, they shouldn't be out there with their phone anyways.
right, yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, there's the lights, so you can see at night if you do want to walk to and from to a bathroom or bring a flashlight. Our kids have to have a flashlight each.
Yeah.
Whether they need it or
We were
not.
big on headlamps.
Right.
With us, yeah. Yeah, well, I just think it's a great thing. So as far as like watching the lake and the fish and everything, does the wildlife department have anything to do with that? Is that a thing that someone has to like make sure your water is okay, or that things are, I don't know how that works.
I have no idea how to answer that question.
Okay.
I know we've wanted to reach out to multiple groups to partner with them to get, the best we can, stocking the water or stocking it with fish. We've talked with wildlife about that before as well. Same thing with letting them know we have kids that are gonna be around the water and so on and so forth.
Right.
We did have just recently a project done by, I don't remember who the company was, but the dam authority basically came
Oh.
and resurfaced the whole dam, strengthening it up and putting a bunch of rocks and boulders up against it. So it will help, water and all the shrubs from growing back up where you can't see what you're doing. over there.
Right.
But we've already had people fishing way over there. So that's the other, and they're catching fish over there. So it just opened up another area for.
A
people
little
to get
honey
fish.
spot over
Oh, yeah.
there. You guys heard it here first. Yeah.
They're gonna be mad when I tell them.
Little,
when they-
right,
yeah,
gave up their honey
yeah.
hole. Uh-oh, that makes me want to grab my pole and go out there. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for the future of Wiluhi'yi. I mean, it's been, I don't know, 15 years or longer, probably 20 maybe, since I've been out there. But like I said, so many things look familiar, but it was beautiful. I just thought it was breathtaking. And I was like, where's a better sunset than at a little lake like that in Oklahoma? And just, I don't know, it's lovely. I'm so grateful for the people in 1950 who recognized the need and they were willing to just go for it and start this thing. And then almost 75 years later, it's still a thriving camp and a place for families to go and, just escape from the hustle and bustle and loudness of everything and go out and where it's quiet. And thank you for serving on that board and all the board members, because the volunteers are the ones, it sounds like, who make sure this place continues to, provide what's necessary for people to be able to enjoy themselves. And then adding these upgrades and the hammock thing. I mean, yeah, people have used hammocks, but the hammock camping is probably a little bit more of a recent day idea. And so to add that, that's a really great thing. I'm thrilled. I'm so glad that before we get off of here, how would someone find Camp Wiluhi'yi?
So that will be perfect. What I'll actually do is, if we can.
Well, I think she turned it off.
I can turn it back on.
Bailey behind the camera was being extra efficient today.
My bad.
The box is still on, yeah.
I will just put this back up.
Okay, it should.
Yep, you're mirrored.
I don't know why all that other.
Or maybe
stuff is up.
not.
There it goes. Bailey, hit that okay button on the small, on that. There you go.
So for reservations right now, this would be the easiest place for us to call. And if you don't get anybody,
Mhm.
leave a voicemail. I don't know if we're accepting text messages there or not. But like I said, we do have a website that is in the process of being created. We actually saw it in our last meeting last month.
Mhm.
It went off.
That's my beautiful one. We went on vacation.
There you go.
Decided to have funny family photos.
Absolutely,
great.
absolutely. Okay, so it's locked. You can't just go out there.
It's all locked. You cannot go out there. It is
Okay.
trespassing at that point.
Okay,
Yeah,
and so by calling this number, then you will be given directions. on
Right,
how
we'll
to
be
get
given
there, too.
directions, and then a board member will meet you to unlock the gates for you and actually show you around the facility. And we actually would love to have people come out for tours prior to coming and doing camp. So
Mhm.
I think that's something I was telling you, that you haven't been out in a long time. We'd love to have even just the whole Chisholm Trail Heritage Center come out and have a good time, just learning and doing a tour again.
I love that.
We've also talked about, for some of the groups that have donated, we want to do like a presentation thing later this year,
Mhm.
where we'll invite friends of Wiluhi'yi to come and have a good time, food and a ceremony for a certificate and so on and so forth, which we're going to be presenting to a couple of the people that have donated.
Mhm. What a great idea. I love that. And I mean, more people, more word of mouth,
Yeah.
let's get it out there.
Absolutely.
I just, I'm just kind of blown away that the volunteers, the board members meet you at the gate. That is So do you guys need board members?
So we do have slots that are open.
Okay.
We have multiple committee members that fall underneath the board members as well.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna just take maintenance in and of itself. There's a maintenance coordinator or board member, and then he has committee members below him to help assist him to get things taken care of, what need to be taken care of.
So about how many folks would you say in all?
I know there's supposed to be 15 board members. I think we have 13 or 14 now. And then I couldn't even tell you how many Friends of Wiluhi'yi there are. There's so many that have been here and either have had to be board members or step out away for family issues and so on and so forth. And/or they were allowing younger people to come and, fulfill that position. But I mean, there's so many Friends of Wiluhi'yi, it's not even funny.
Right, so if someone was watching this, they could call that phone number and say, hey, I think I might be interested in serving or helping with this.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah, and then we have a reservation team that will answer all that or answer the emails and/or everything from the website, and they'll reserve a spot for them if they want to do a tour. We have people that are available pretty much all week long to meet them out there. We just pick a specific time to meet up and call us and we'll meet you.
so I feel like I've said so about 100 times today. I don't know why I keep doing that. If you guys are financed through donations, grants, you mentioned grants earlier, fees collected, are there like memberships to Wiluhi'yi, or where else would you get your funding?
So we do have a couple, of course, the scouts are members for, I think, up to 4 years.
Okay,
And we do have a couple of church groups that have discussed becoming members for a specific amount of years as well. We do have fees for those too. We can speak with somebody in reference to reservations for that if they wanted to. But we would love to have, multiple church groups come out and, youth groups and so on and so forth, even to have come and do a devotional. We have a beautiful campsite, not even a campsite, it's a fire ring, I'm sorry. And that would be a beautiful place for a devotional, to be able to have the fire and then do the devotional and maybe a dinner or something right after,
Right.
for a youth group.
Mhm.
But yeah, other than that, we have requested some donations, especially for help on the grant. Like we have to, like our part of the grant is fulfilling 50% of it,
Mhm.
in order to achieve the grant. And then we are able to get our deck, the put back porch, taken care of and so on and so forth. And then we'll request it for the next large, building thing we got to do from there.
And I'm really thinking that once your website is up and going, people being able to access all of that kind of information is really going to benefit
Right.
the camp.
The other great thing is we also have a Facebook group too. So
Okay.
that's something huge. And it's pull it up here. real
I
quick.
also really love the CW, the kind of the blue
Our
and
logo.
yellow, your logo.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is. Is that pretty new?
It's as new as right when we did our gates, we had just surveyed our gates, had all those built.
Mhm.
And then somebody came with that sign. I don't know who.
Man, they nailed
but
it. It is
it's
great.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
And then we have actually on our Facebook site right now, there's a scout that just finished his Eagle Scout project. And he was refurbishing a sign with those same colors and everything. It looks beautiful.
Mm.
But Camp Wiluhi'yi, everybody spells it wrong. I spelled it wrong for a long time until I embedded it in my brain. But of course, camp and then Wiluhi'yi, Waluhi'yi. You can find that on Facebook and you
It's
can,
linked in the comments.
yeah, perfect. And then you can request to come to camp there too,
Okay.
if need be. Either myself or two others will look at it and get it taken care of.
Very good. Well, Zach, you've just been a wealth of information today, and I love that promotional video. I wish that was all kinds of places for people to watch. I saw it on your Facebook page.
It's on there.
And, we could always maybe find a way to put it, I
Share
could
that.
share that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, thank you for being on Trail Talk today. I appreciate it so much. And I think that our viewers are really, maybe somebody is gonna come camping for the first time
Hope
after
so.
they saw this. I do too.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Well, when we say bye, we just say happy trails. So you ready?
Sure.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Happy
Happy
trails.
trails.